All right, hello and good morning or afternoon, whatever you might be. So here is a question that came in yesterday from somebody in California, believe it or not, and talking to Harper, and my question was, are they local? Have them come in, but they're in California. So they have a question. Driving a Freightliner M2 with a Cummins 6.7 engine and a fairly new truck with only about 100,000 miles on it, so it's still low miles. And the complaint that they had was when the truck is empty and it runs quite nicely, but when the box is full and they're going uphill, they cannot get above 30 miles per hour. They did not indicate that they have any codes, so the question is, what's going on here? And obviously, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't magically teleport myself inside their engine and see what's going on, but because the truck only has about 110,000 miles on it, and is suffering from the symptoms, my first thought was something to do with the turbo, potentially an exhaust leak leading up to the turbo, and which means that it runs pretty well in its bobtail, but when it's running harder, and keep in mind that the Freightliner M2 weighs about 14,000 pounds empty, plus some fuel and the weight of the driver, about 14,000 pounds, about 7 tons. But you can load up that 26-foot box with 10, 12,000 pounds of cargo. So when your truck goes from 14,000 pounds to, let's say, 26,000 pounds, that's a lot more mass, a lot more weight for it to haul up the hill. So if there's anything that is a little questionable with something in your engine, that's when it's going to act up, and that's probably what you're seeing. Because they're not getting any specific codes or anything like that, I suspect that you might have something like an exhaust leak going into the turbo. It might be something to do with your VGT, your variable geometry turbo, where that's out of calibration. That's a component up in your turbocharger that basically directs the flow of exhaust over the vanes of the turbine itself, the turbo turbine. And if those are not moving properly, you're maybe not getting the airflow into the turbo properly, and it's not boosting, giving your truck the more power that it wants. Or it could be something very simple like a maintenance issue. For example, maybe the air filter is just really dirty, and it's not getting enough air into the engine to properly combust the diesel, which would reduce the amount of pull that your engine has, and it could potentially limit you to 30 miles per hour. Since you don't have any codes, I would get my head up in the engine and look to see if you have any soot sneaking out from any of the clamps of the exhaust pipes leading to the turbo. Potentially, check your air filter. You just might have a very dirty air filter, or even something like a fuel filter. Maybe a dirty fuel filter. It's not pulling in enough fuel. I don't think it's anything major. I would, recommend that if you're close by, come in and see us, but you're far away, maybe have that thing scanned, but just look for an exhaust leak, check your air filter. Those are two things you can do on your own for free. A good way to learn a little bit more about your truck. And if you don't see anything there, bring it to a shop. You might need to calibrate your VGT, your variable geometry turbo. But I don't think it's anything major wrong. So there you go. I hope this helps. If I solve the problem, I am a rock star. And let me know. And of course, if I didn't solve the problem, let me know ultimately what you found out, or if you have any more questions. So that's it. If anybody else out there has questions for me, make sure that you call or text 404-999-1361. I will do my best to answer them, and we will go from there. All right. How's that?